How's it going? And welcome to Builder's Basics, the series in which I teach you the basic fundamentals of base building in video games. So, rally your men, raise your anchors, and get ready to sail into the 10th realm of Valheim. Tip number 1. While this may seem obvious to some of you, flattening the ground you plan to build on is a huge help, especially when laying foundations and floors that you don't want clipping through the terrain. You can gain access to this flatten function via the hoe. You can craft a hoe at any roofed workbench for 5 wood and 2 stone. Tip number 2. You can use a pickaxe to manipulate the terrain when the flatten feature stops flattening larger hills. Keep in mind that you can only unlock the first pickaxe after defeating the first boss. Mining the ground will reward you with stone, which you can use in the hoe's second function, raising the ground. You can use this function to raise the ground to meet the flattened area to expand your building area downhill. Tip number 3. If you're struggling with making paths or smooth ground up or downhill, then worry no longer. The hoe has got your back once again. When you're flattening, hold shift. This will smooth the terrain based on where the flatten tool is positioned, making for smoother terrain. Which do you think looks smoother? Tip number 4. Consider digging a basement. When it comes to building in Valheim, space can be important, so when you're building a base, it is generally more efficient to expand vertically rather than horizontally. This is due to the fact that the structural integrity system can make wider ceilings and roofs much harder to support near the center. Digging a basement can seem tedious or daunting, but rest assured, a basement can do wonders for space in your base. Tip number 5. Build a frame for your house. Building a frame for your house may not be as important in less complicated houses such as small A-frames, but when you're going big, you need to go all in. Building the frame for your house will help you visualize what the house will look like before putting in all the effort to build it. Frames can help you get a grasp of the space, the floor plan, and the rooms that will be inside the house before it is fully constructed, making it easier to make adjustments before committing to the full build. But that's not all. Building the frame for your house will also strengthen the structural integrity, simplifying the building process of the house itself. Tip number 6. Conserve space where you can. When you're building bases, space may or may not be a factor you need to consider. That being said, there are some things more important than others. For example, consider building this simple storage shelf. It is cheap and easy to build, a great space-efficient way to organize storage, and it can be expanded as much as you like. Tip number 7. When you unlock portals, it can be a godsend to have a means of instant traversal between large distances, but portals can quickly get out of hand when you build a lot of them. For both style and function, consider building a dedicated portal room. This will both save you space in your main base, but also make it easier to organize your portals. Tip number 8. Do your floors look boring? Well, consider changing things up a bit. With something so simple as rotating your floor pieces for each one that you place, you can create a very simple yet eye-catching floor pattern to spice up even the most basic of bases. Tip number 9. If you've ever played Minecraft, this tip might seem quite familiar to you. Build overhanging roofs. Building overhanging roofs improves the depth of your build considerably, and with that, consider bringing out the roof into dormers with overhangs or even balconies. This will not just contribute to the depth of your build, but also add to the variety of it as well. And finally, tip number 10. Make sure to experiment with building pieces. Things such as pillars and walls can be combined to bring out the build in both style and depth. For example, take this small and simple porch. Or maybe the wall decoration is more your style. Even simple changes can massively contribute to the quality of any build, regardless of what player you are. Bonus tips. Number 1. Snapping options. Did you know you could change the snapping focus of your building pieces? Well, if you've ever gotten stuck on trying to fit in a stupid or stubborn wall or pillar into hard-to-reach areas, Snapping Options has you covered. You can cycle through these options with the Q and E keys. Bonus tips. Number 2. Trimming your pieces. Is something missing from your build? Specifically some damn trim? Well, no need to break out the hedge trimmers, because I'm talking about roof and wall trim. Simply find the roof trim or pillars to flesh out your roofs and walls respectively. Bonus tips. Number 3. A little depth never hurt anyone. Are you sick of having flat, boring, and just plain embarrassing walls? Well, do I have a tip for you. With the low cost of a door frame, you can add depth to your walls at no additional cost to you. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Do consider dropping a like or comment if you have any building tips of your own that you'd like to share, and consider showing this to anyone you know that is struggling with base building in Valheim. This has been The Friendly Jarl on Builder's Basics. May we meet again, fellow warrior.